Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today I want to talk about road to market and what that is. Road to market. The term road to market refers to strategic planning and execution of the process that a company or entrepreneur undertakes to bring the new product or services or innovation to its target customers or market. It encompasses all the steps, decisions, and activities required to introduce the offering successfully and gain traction in the market. A couple of videos ago, if I had to take an example, I think it's a great example. It's one of the videos that I made already. I was talking about already developed minimum valuable product. I was talking about a video game that was developed by Unreal Engine 5.2 and perhaps collaborating on improving existing systems within that video game and how we can approach this project and deliver this project all the way road to market and how we can take that road and what it would require. Would that require perhaps a test group of 100 people who would test that video game. System's already there, only would require perhaps some improvements when it comes to graphic design, idea development. I believe it shouldn't take more than perhaps 6 months or so for that particular project to develop all the way to the market and release that game. Once it's been released, we can have a test group and improve that video game based on the feedback, and we can make all these changes based on the ideas that we have and how we are planning on developing that particular game and how we can do it. But that's a strategy that we can adapt as we go along and what we believe would work best. But ideally, there's a lot of particular strategies to pick from and see, depending on the team, perhaps. So that particular game, that offer is still on the table. If anyone's interested, we can agree on what strategy we're gonna pick and how we're gonna take that pilot video game all the way to the market to start making money out of it. That's our ideal, our objective of working on that project and how we're gonna do it. For anyone, there are certain steps that everyone can take to better understand the process all the way to a market for any product or services that you will be looking to launch, and what steps you should take. I believe that everyone should start by understanding the market and doing a market research. uh, some of the areas that everyone needs to identify would be: what is the target market, customer needs, preferences, what are the pain points. Just some of the areas that I want to need to take a look at before making up their mind and having a plan in place. Product development. How you're gonna do it, what kind of problems you're gonna be looking to address, how market, uh, if there's an opening in the market, some just some of the areas that everyone needs to take a look at. Value proposition: what kind of products are you going to be developing, and what kind of value is going to offer to customers? What it's going to be different about it? How perhaps it will be cheaper, perhaps it will address some of the issues faster. It would be a lot better than competition product or services that you are offering. Positioning and branding: how you're gonna brand your product or services, and one needs to consider some of the factors when it comes to positioning, as well as branding, and how you're gonna approach the market. What would be your perhaps values, how you're gonna work on that project, and what customers can expect. Go-to-market strategy: creating a comprehensive plan for how this product will be introduced to and promoted to the market. It's something that we are talking about already. It just is the go-to-market strategy would need to have decisions regarding pricing, distribution channels, sales strategy, and marketing efforts. Who will do what within the project? Who gonna have what responsibilities? Marketing and promotion. How we're gonna if we're gonna be working on that particular project that I mentioned, how we're gonna do that, where we're gonna promote, what platforms we're gonna use. We're gonna focus more on paid ads, or we're gonna go for perhaps do a lot of podcasts. Perhaps that could be a potential strategy where we're gonna be investing our time instead of investing perhaps our money. Sales and distribution. Uh, Something I mentioned, feedback and ways of how we're gonna be redefining our product or services, uh, how we're gonna gather feedback, if we're gonna have a test group, ideally, if we're working on something new, based on the feedback, what would be a system in place, how we're gonna be refining our product or services, scaling and growing. If we're gonna be going perhaps not just in one country, we're gonna approach different countries, and what will be our strategy for that? Continuous improvement and which cycle, which I believe is one of the most important things for any project to have, and where we're gonna take that project within a matter perhaps 4, 8 years, and what would be last point for myself would be exit strategy. Wants needs to have that as well. I would like to touch on the opportunity and my offer that I made. It was with regards to Unreal Engine and recent release of sample project that they had. Within that project, they did offer uh, all the blueprints, all the behavior trees for video game. It has really nice graphics, so I believe there's a lot of potential for that particular video game. If there would be a talented group of people who has great ideas for that particular game, it's a real-time strategy game for perhaps house building, economy development, or perhaps it could be more of the challenge. But either idea, what any project group or team would have, it depends. It might be a very small group in the beginning, and if I would be working on that project, any project, I would say I would rather be interested in asking some of the questions is how this game can start making money from a day one, not necessarily from a day 60 or 600, from a day one. What would be a strategy for road to market that this video would not necessarily affect the balance of the game, but we can potentially generate money, and that would be perhaps some changes, some highlights, perhaps branding within a game. That would be potentially a subscription model, free to play. That will generate a lot of attention to that particular project. From there, perhaps easy to pick up, so easy to start playing, but hard to master a video game. That could be a potential strategy. I believe I mentioned that already, but I think it's really, really good example for when we're talking about road to market, and it's new released. It's been released perhaps about 3 weeks ago, I believe, or just over 3 weeks. So it's new. There's a lot of potential. It's new, and it could be. Then there's a lot of people who are wondering what to do, where to go, where to see. If you yourself, or perhaps you know someone who has an understanding when it comes to video games, and perhaps not necessarily has enough experience, who would like to try doing something like that, I'm interested to speak with those people and extend my offer to that particular group of people. For those who haven't seen it yet, I have published a book. That's a book about how to make your from zero all the way to first 10,000. In the book, I'm talking pounds, but everyone perhaps within the trading zones that would be uh, dollars or perhaps euros or any other currency. That's just a milestone, first milestone within your project, and where to begin, what our fundamentals are within your project. First 10,000. That's if not the hardest, it is definitely a tough one for a lot of people to stick to any project and get, I guess, taking that project from initial planning stage to actually start generating money coming in every month, and not if not every day. I'm talking about all fundamentals within the book. Similar fundamentals might work for other businesses as well, but in this particular case, I focus on agriculture business. For anyone who is interested, you can find my book on the company's website. Feel free to reach out to me, and I might offer you a free copy. Thanks. Uh, for just to summarize today's video, I'm talking about the road to market by initial planning stage or technology readiness level. That will be one, taking your project all the way to technology readiness level number nine, and potentially generating money from something perhaps that you might be even interested of doing a long term for next 2, 3, perhaps 5 or even more years. Road to market, it's interesting idea. It's definitely for someone to consider, whatever skill or you have or business that you would like to start, and perhaps you need to see that business all the way through, taking to account as many of potential obstacles that you can think of, reducing that risk. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.